When a financial system collapses, the damage does not arrive all at once. The first shock is loud. Markets fall, headlines explode, panic spreads, but the real consequences come later, quietly, slowly, and relentlessly. This is the aftermath. After the collapse, markets do not immediately find clarity. They freeze. Prices exist, but meaning disappears. Valuations become guesses. Risk models fail. What once felt measurable becomes unknowable. The system continues to function mechanically, but the logic that once guided it is gone. This is the moment when nothing works the way it used to. Liquidity is scarce. Credit tightens. Institutions stop trusting each other. Even the strongest players become cautious, not because they are weak, but because survival replaces ambition. Lending slows. Investment pauses. Expansion halts. The engine of growth sputters. Confidence does not return quickly, it retreats. After a collapse, every decision is second-guessed. Every assumption is questioned. Every counterparty is treated with suspicion. The same behaviors that once sustained the system now threaten it. Holding cash feels safer than deploying it. Waiting feels wiser than acting. This hesitation becomes contagious. Businesses delay hiring, consumers pull back spending, investors reduce exposure, governments scramble to respond, often without knowing where the real damage lies. The collapse may have begun in financial markets, but its effects spread outward into the real economy. This is when consequences become visible to everyone. Factories slow production, projects are cancelled, jobs disappear, entire industries contract. The collapse moves from balance sheets to households, from institutions to individuals. What was once abstract becomes personal. And still, uncertainty dominates. Policymakers step in during these moments, but their actions are constrained by fear and timing. Intervene too aggressively, and they risk inflation, moral hazard, or political backlash. Act too slowly, and the system deteriorates further. Every decision carries consequences that may not appear for years. Emergency measures become normalized. Interest rates are cut to extremes. Liquidity facilities expand. Guarantees are issued. Bailouts are justified as necessary evils. Each intervention stabilizes one part of the system while shifting risk elsewhere. The immediate crisis may ease, but the structure of the economy changes. After the collapse, the rules are rewritten. Institutions that survive become more conservative, but also more powerful. Competition shrinks. Risk becomes concentrated. Smaller players disappear, absorbed or wiped out. Markets become more centralized, not because it is efficient, but because survival favors scale. Public trust erodes. People question the fairness of the system. Why some institutions were saved while others failed. Why losses were socialized while profits were private. Why ordinary lives were disrupted by decisions made far away, behind closed doors. This erosion of trust lasts longer than any market downturn. Even as numbers recover, scars remain. Behavior changes, memory lingers. A generation of investors becomes risk-averse, another becomes cynical. Regulations tighten, then slowly loosen as time passes and pressure fades. This cycle has repeated throughout history. After every collapse, there is reform. After every reform, there is adaptation. After adaptation, complacency slowly returns. The system heals, but it also forgets. The most dangerous part of the aftermath is not the immediate damage, it is normalization. What once seemed unthinkable becomes routine. Emergency tools become standard. Extraordinary measures become expected. Each response reshapes incentives, encouraging behavior that may sow the seeds of the next crisis. Stability returns, but it is different. Growth resumes, but unevenly. Wealth redistributes, often upward. Opportunities reappear, but only for those positioned to take them. The system looks functional again, yet something fundamental has changed. The aftermath teaches harsh lessons. It reveals how interconnected the world truly is, how decisions in one sector ripple across society, how confidence, once broken, takes years to rebuild. How systems designed for efficiency struggle under stress. Most importantly, it shows that collapse is not an ending, it is a transformation. The aftermath determines who survives, who adapts, and who is left behind. It shapes policy, culture, and markets long after the headlines fade. It defines the financial landscape for years, sometimes decades. And yet, even in the aftermath, the seeds of the next cycle are planted, because recovery brings optimism. Optimism brings risk. Risk brings innovation. Innovation brings complexity, and complexity, once again, hides fragility. The system moves forward, carrying its scars quietly. After the collapse, nothing works the same way it did before, but everything keeps moving, and somewhere within that movement, the foundation for the next crisis is already being laid, unnoticed, unquestioned, and quietly accepted as normal. This is the aftermath, not the end of the story, but the space between one collapse and the next. Welcome to Cash Chronicles, where money, power, and history collide.